Next up, Miles Lakrofka, joined by Leah and Alex Melson. Next up, Marquise Penn, with his family, Lucinda, Dominique, D'Angelo, Melanie, Maddie, and Janice. Next up is Luke Heinrich, joined by Jen and Eric. Next is Isaiah Barnes, joined by John and Mila.
Is the plan, Ryan, for you guys to go anywhere Lincoln plays next week?
Up next is Tariq Rashid.
My availability, it just depends on how far it is.
In attendance for the family, Dad Hanif and sister and stepmom
I can leave work
Jessica.
a little early, but I don't want to push it,
Up next is Neil Bryan, with family members Jim and Shelly here tonight.
Should know by tonight. I think all the games are happening tonight.
Next up is Gabe Hambrick, with family members James, Amber, Aaliyah, and Chris. Up next is Diego Rowland, with family members Michael, Helen, stepdad Clarence, and Lourdes. And finally, Logan Guiley, with Brooks, Carrie, Margot, and Leo. And all the flowers are being apart by Beaumont Florist, located on 4201 Northeast Fremont Street. Thanks to Beaumont Florist for the flowers for tonight's seniors.
Who was the NFL game last night? It was the Dolphins
And now it is time to introduce our cheerleading seniors for Grant.
Brendan Scarlett.
Up first is Emmy Kalmafi, escorted by Mom Fozzie, Grandma Naki, Sister Pauline, Sister Leslie, and Brother Saya and daughter Lena, Cousin Charlie, and Sister Haven. Emmy will serve a full mission after graduation and then attend BYU Hawaii. Up next is Danisha Harris, escorted by Coach Nicolette Gonzalez and Coach Jen Overman and Aaron McNulty. Danisha has cheered for 2 years on varsity. Danisha plans on attending a 4-year university to study sports medicine. Up next is Monica Rashid, escorted by Father Hanif and girlfriend Jessica and Monica best Hanif. Monica plans on attending cosmetology program to study hair, skin, nails, and makeup. And finally, Veronica Rashid, also joined by her father Hanif and his girlfriend Jessica. After graduation, Veronica will attend a 4-year university to study social work. Those are our seniors for cheer at Grant High School. And of course, during the game, head over to our Grant Booster Snack Shack for drinks, candy, popcorn, hot dogs, pizza, and more. Underneath the Grant bleachers is where you'll find our Grant Boosters Snack Shack. Coming up in about 3 minutes, we will have our national anthem being played by our Grant band. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please remove your hats and stand as we honor America with the national anthem performed by the Grant High School Band under the direction of Brian McFadden.
Hello and welcome to Marshall High School for the final week of the regular season between the Lincoln Cardinals taking on the Grant Generals. I'm Shane Downey, joined by Dave Hall. Dave, it depends on who you ask. Is this the PIL championship game? Well, in older years it may have been. Technically this year it's the Special District 1, but either way, these are two of the top teams in that division.
You know, I only have a law degree. I don't have one of those mathematics degrees like you need to sort this all out. But here's how it stands. This is the last game of PIL action. Grant is currently 4-0. Lincoln is 3-1 with a loss to Roosevelt. And Roosevelt is 3-1 with a loss to Grant. Grant can put all of this to bed by a win tonight over Lincoln, and they'd be undefeated in PIL action. If Lincoln wins, both of these teams will be 4-1. If Roosevelt wins tonight, which they're expected to do, they'll be 4-1. Now, all of this has to do with who finishes atop the PIL, but not where these teams stand in the power rankings that'll be determinative of the seedings.
That's ultimately what matters. All three teams likely to make the playoffs. Grant General's overall record 5-3, but 4-0 in league play, as you mentioned, and with some very big wins as of late. They won last week against Franklin 55-0. Week before that at Madison 63-6. Prior to that, 46-0 over Jefferson. And Lincoln hasn't been much worse, and in fact, in some areas they've been better. You look at things like their win a week ago against Madison. That was 75-19, by far their highest point total of the season. So these are two teams coming off significant victories with a lot of points on the board. So ultimately, this game could come down to which defense decides to step up.
You know, after 3 straight losses in the last 2 games, Lincoln's put up 138 points, averaging 69 points a game.
So we're just a few moments away from game time as you see Lincoln and Grant meeting at midfield right now, determining who will be receiving the ball. Lincoln in their white jerseys with the red and white stripe up top, and Grant with the dark gray and blue numbers on their backs.
If you don't recognize the surroundings, it's because we are at Marshall High School, as Shane said.
Indeed.
Grant, of course, being remodeled this year, and so they're playing their games at Marshall High School. Beautiful field here at Marshall.
An artificial surface here. It has been a little rainy in about the past hour. Luckily not too cold this evening, sitting at about 60 degrees currently. The lights are on and the rain has continued to fall with a light breeze as we're just about ready to go for this final game of the regular season. Of course, both these teams hoping to be playing playoff football a week from today. And seedings and all that determination will be determined depending on the results of not only this game, but the rest of the game around the state in 6A football.
Before we kick off, I just remind everybody, you're listening to Oregon Sports Beat. We will carry the football playoffs for Lincoln. We will also carry the soccer playoffs, both 6A, 4A, boys and girls. We won't know the teams involved in that until tomorrow, but go to OregonSportsBeat.com and you can find out where we'll be over the next week.
Davies in to kick. It'll be Harris and Davis back to receive for Grant. Here's the kick from Davies. End over end. That's going to take a bounce. No, it's caught just shy of the 30. Now running far sideline. Knocked out of bounds at the just across the 40. No, they're going to say he's at the 39.
On the return for Grant.
You know,
1st and 10 Generals.
Spencer Davies has been doing that kick for a long time. Occasionally we see him kick it away, but that little intermediate between the second and third level of receivers kick, and it usually winds up with the other team getting the ball at about the 35, 40-yard line.
Starting at quarterback for the Generals will be the senior Sam Simril.
And at quarterback for your Grant Generals, number 12, Sam Simril.
Starting at the 38-yard line, going left to right. It's 1st and 10, just underway, just a few seconds off the clock here in the first quarter. Here's the snap, handoff going up the middle and breaking free. That's going to be a first down and a little bit more. Starting at quarterback was Damian Phillips.
Run for Grant.
And Phillips gets the opening run. He's just a
Gain of
sophomore
about 12 on the play. That is
and
enough
one of
for
the
a
top
Generals
stars
first down.
of the General offense.
Shane, the early last week,
First and 10,
the
Grant.
Lincoln Cardinal had trouble tackling the ball carrier.
And had some trouble there as Phillips looked like he was wrapped up early on in the play, but turns it into 12 yards. Here's a snap. Quarterback drops back, looking deep right. He has a man, but underthrown and almost intercepted.
There's a flag down.
Signal
It's going to be an
pass
interference
incomplete
call.
intended for
That
Marcus
ball was
Harris,
put up
penalty flag
high,
on
and
the
it was
field.
like up for grabs, Seward into double coverage.
It was into double coverage. The defenders on the play. You had Grant Miller out there. And also number 25, that's Charles Wilmot. Wilmot did not play a week ago. So good to see that young man healthy and back on the defense for the Lincoln Cardinals. We'll see him on the offensive side as well. But the pass interference play will turn into a first down, and Grant, 2 plays into the game, they've moved the chains twice.
Wilmot could have played. The word was he could have played last week, held out to make sure he could play in this game.
Quarterback awaits the snap. Lots of movement there, and we have a whistle.
Well, yeah, you can't shift that many people at the same time.
So this penalty will go against the Generals,
Penalty
and
flag on the field.
Sam Simmerl and company will
Grant
step back
from
5
false
yards,
start.
back to the
5-yard
40.
penalty remaining, first
That
down.
was an illegal motion, and you just can't have 4 guys in motion all at the same time.
So it'll be 1st and 15. Simmerl awaits the snap. Takes the handoff, holds onto it. He's going to keep it, take it himself, and gets up the near hash. And we have another flag as Simmerl was being dragged from behind.
Penalty marker on the field.
Well, I'll tell you this, Shane. You know what Simmerl needs to do? He needs to learn how to slide.
You can tell already that this weather is going to affect this game. And that's a penalty on the offense. So lots of flags here early. The illegal block in the back will back things up all the way into Grant territory, it looks like. Oh, they're just
First down from
across.
midfield.
So it'll be the 49-yard line in Lincoln territory. 1st and long after 2 penalties. They'll retry first down.
1st and 25.
Simmerl signals for a man to go in motion. They hand it off to him, trying to get to the outside. Knocked out of bounds there after
Marcus
about
Harris
4
on the run for
yards
Grant.
as Harris
Second down, Generals.
gets the ball. It is senior night here for the Grant Generals. I tallied up the total seniors on the roster. They have 17 compared to 16 for Lincoln.
One of
The
those.
overall numbers in favor of Grant. You can look at the sidelines, a little bit extra players. Quarterback has the snap. Here's another handoff going up the middle, and he's going to be taken down early on in the play.
Well, I mentioned earlier that the Cardinal had trouble tackling early last week. Not on that
Third down,
play.
Generals.
I believe it was Jackson Jones on the tackle. Third down, 3rd and long. Lincoln looking for a stop. From midfield, here's a pass near sideline, and it's almost intercepted, going in and out of the hands of Wilmot. And once again, I believe the weather playing a factor there, as that ball is quite slippery.
4th down, Grant.
You'd have to think that ball slipped because it was not near any Grant receiver.
Yeah,
And,
not only did it slip out of the hands of the quarterback, but also out of the hands of Wilmot.
Exactly.
And Wilmot's going to be back to receive. They're
High
going
rep
to punt it
for Grant.
on 4th down. Snap looks good. It's a good punt. They're going to let it bounce. It's going to take a friendly bounce for Grant. Picked up around the 11-yard
Down
line.
around the 11-yard line.
So for Miles
First and
Parkell,
10,
the
Cardinals.
starting quarterback for the Lincoln Cardinals, the senior, he's going to have to march 89 yards down the field if he wants to put points on the board
Penalty flag
and
on
get
the field.
into the end zone. But we do have another penalty on the play. So the referees and umpires in the game not messing around here early.
And that is thrown where it would probably be roughing the kicker. I didn't see the contact because I was looking downfield, but it's right where the kicker was standing.
They're talking to a member of the Grant Generals, or maybe the Grant Generals player is talking to them.
Well, taking the penalty won't be enough for a first down. If they waive the penalty, they'll have Lincoln back on the 11.
So you can tell the players are trying to communicate with their head coach as to what they think they should do. Grant is coached by John Beck, first-year head coach.
I would waive the penalty, and that's what they're going to do.
It looks like that's the case. Let's take this moment to tell you about our friends at Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling, clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. So, for the Lincoln
First and
Cardinals,
10, Lincoln.
it will be Miles Parkell under center, starting center Garrett Van Doren. And Lincoln's offense is led by the charge of Nick Osmo.
Last week, 7 carries, 253 yards.
We have a man in motion here. They're going to hand it off, trying to go up the middle. And it is Osmo. Looks like he gets about 6 on the carry.
Osmo on the run for Lincoln.
Osmo broke off a few very long ones, as
Gain of about
indicated by
7
the
on
stat
play.
line that
Second down,
Dave
Lincoln.
just repeated.
He had carries of 75, 71, and 53 yards.
That makes for a good average. No score. Lincoln's first possession of the ball game. Parkell under center. Receivers split on each side, now a man in motion. They hand it off to the motion man. He gets to the outside. That's going to be another short gain. It'll be third down. That ball carrier was number 24, Daniel Kovalev.
Kovalev on the run for the Cardinals. Third down.
The rain continues to come down. The umbrellas are out in full force here in the stands. 3rd and 4 from the 25. See what head coach Jim Johnson draws up here. Here's a snap. They're going to hand it off. Looks like they're going to get enough and plenty more. Nick Osmo stays on his feet across the 40. And
Osmo, the
there
ball
we
carrier
see
for
the
Lincoln.
explosiveness
That's enough for a
of
first down.
Osmo, Dave.
20, let's see what they're going to spot this. We'll give it 20 yards on the carry.
So Osmo moving it up to the 44-yard line.
First and 10, Lincoln.
So Grant
Ball
was
at the
able to
44-yard line.
move the chains a couple times, and then their drive stalled thanks to some penalties. Let's see what Lincoln can do here. One receiver on the near sideline. They're going to hand it off, go near side edge, trying to turn the corner, runs into his own man, and tripped up there.
Kyle Gragnola.
Gragnola unable
on the
to
run
turn the
for
corner.
Lincoln. Loss of yards on the play. Second down.
A flanker sweep play that time, a jet sweep, and just a little bit too slow on that developing. Gragnola never able to turn the corner on the left.
Loss of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 14 now. You can hear the Grant band.
Second and 14 for Lincoln. Ball on their own 40-yard
Is
line.
the percussion going strong to the right of us. Parkell awaits the snap. Here it is. Another handoff trying to go to the near side edge. And a number of defenders there, but quickly evading them and going far side. And this is going to be a long run. Are they going to catch up to him? They do, but not before a big gain
Daniel
from Daniel
Kovalev on the run
Kovalev.
for
Dave, it
Lincoln.
looked like he
That's
was
a
in
number
trouble at the
Cardinals
start of that
first down.
play, but he managed to stay on his feet and turn nothing into a real big something.
41 yards on the carry that time for Daniel Kovalev.
And Lincoln's offense
Remember, Kovalev had over 100 yards last week.
looking to put points on the board here in the first quarter. Both of these teams had no trouble scoring the past few weeks against divisional opponents. We do have a young man down for the Grant Generals on the far sideline. Let's tell you about our friends at Trailblazer Foods. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2018. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com. Got a word from our old colleague that Damian Phillips is the player down. Looks like he's going to be assisted off the field. That is the starting running back with a lot of talent for the Grant Generals.
One of the Lincoln players' supporters came up and gave us some information about a number change, and so let's see, who was that?
It was Jackson Jones. It's funny
That's
It's funny you mentioned that, Dave. So we were told it was from 54 to 45. I could have swore I saw a 54 on the field, so maybe somebody else is wearing 54.
Okay.
But nonetheless, we'll get that straightened out.
Some of Jackson's friends came up and said, want to make sure you know Jackson's right numbers, so they were his fans.
I mentioned an old
First
colleague
and
of
10
ours, Sean Lewis Phillipson, is
17.
the PA announcer for this game, formerly partnering with Oregon Sports Beat. Here's another run to the near side, trying to get around the guard there. Not much room to work with.
Elsner on the run for
But
Grant-
Elsner
for
gets a
Lincoln.
couple yards on the carry.
Frank the
Bringing
Tank
second
picks
down
up 3.
to about 4.
You can tell already, Dave, I think this is going to be a close game and something that may be determined by something like a single turnover. Whoever wins the turnover battle here on this slippery field could be the difference. Here's Osmo breaking free up the middle, and that's going to be enough for a score. Nick Osmo puts the Lincoln Cardinals on the board. It's 6-0.
13 yards on the carry for Osmo and a touchdown.
Osmo, once he gets past that second level, just has explosiveness in his legs, and Spencer Davies
on for the extra point
will be
attempt
in
for
to
Lincoln.
kick for the extra point.
That coming at 6:28.
Davies has been about as good as they come at this level as far as the kicking game is concerned. And there you see it. Plenty of distance right through the
Davies' extra
uprights.
point attempt is good. Lincoln,
One more point
7,
on the board for the
Grant,
Lincoln Cardinals.
0.
They lead at 7-0 over the Grant Generals. Now,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mentioned it in the open, Dave. Lincoln's calling this the PIL championship game. We're not privy to calling it that just based on Roosevelt, of course, playing tonight, and Roosevelt beating Lincoln earlier in the season. If Grant wins, it's a no-brainer. But either way, Lincoln, of course, hoping to come out on top. And technically, it's the Special District 1. It's not the PIL this year.
And of
At
course,
least not in football.
Roosevelt beat Lincoln pretty good when they met. So they may have some say about what all this means. 3 carries, 39 yards for Nick Osmo.
Davies to kick it away for Lincoln. Back deep to return for Grant is
So
Davis and
Davies
Harris.
in to kick with Timon Davis and Marcus Harris back to receive. The rain continues to fall. Another kick into that second level on the far sideline. Gains about 8 yards on the return. And Grant will have decent field position to start things out for their second possession.
You know, you'd almost be better kicking the ball out of bounds than doing that short kick. You keep giving the other team field position at the 40.
We know Davies can kick it a little deeper than that. Grant will start at their own 39-yard line. Going left to right in those dark gray jerseys with the blue numbers on their backs.
First and 10, Grant Bolt on their own 39-yard line.
First and 10, and another opportunity for the many seniors on this team to put some points on the board on senior night. Here's a big run up the middle. That's going to be enough for a first down.
Jamison Price, the ball carrier for Grant.
Jamison Price getting the
And that is
carry.
enough for a Generals
And
first
remember,
down.
we saw the starting running back, Damian Phillips, walk off the field gingerly just a few moments ago.
Price gets
First
12
and
yards
10,
on that
ball
carry
on
and a
Lincoln
first down.
49-yard line.
They move the chains again across midfield up to the 49. Here's another handoff going up the middle. This time he runs into a wall of defenders, and you hear the whistle
Price,
as
the ball
forward
carrier.
progress is stopped. That was Price yet again.
And Lincoln has been very stout in the middle.
Short gain on the play. Second down.
We
Generals.
mentioned Jackson Jones a few moments ago. He's been one of the top players on that defensive line.
Kenya
Second
Sai
down,
in there
ball,
also,
48-yard
number
line.
64.
Quarterback has the snap, pitches it out. And it'll be third down, third and about 6.
Price on the run for the Generals. Tackle out of bounds by Lincoln.
So Price
Third down.
getting
Generals.
all of the carries here on this possession, with Phillips out of the game, at least for now. Quarterback Sam Simrel looking to convert here on third down.
Grant ball on the 46.
No receivers on the near side. They're going to carry the ball, trying to get to the far sideline, but Lincoln's defense making the stop
On the run
right
for
near the
Grant.
Lincoln
Short gain on the
sideline
play.
as they're pumped
Fourth
up,
down,
and it's
Grant.
another fourth down and another punt upcoming for Grant. And remember, Dave, this is a Grant team that's put a ton of points on the board the past few weeks. We're talking 46, 63, and 55. And actually, if you look back the previous 3 weeks,
Woman on the punt
they
return
had only
for
allowed
Lincoln.
6 points. Lincoln has already exceeded that total here tonight in the first quarter.
And they have a win over Roosevelt.
That is true. So here's the punt. It's another good one. Signaled for a fair catch. They're going to let it bounce. And Lincoln will once again start inside their 20. They started at their own 11 on their first possession, and they were able to convert.
Out of bounds near the 10-yard line. First
Looks
and
like
10,
this time
Lincoln.
it's going to be the 10.
So Grant has had pretty good field position on every one of its possessions. Lincoln has had to start from well deep in their own territory, where they are now.
So 4:43 on the clock, first quarter, 7-0 Lincoln.
First
The
and 10,
visitors
Lincoln.
tonight
Ball
in
on
the
their
final
own
regular
9-yard line.
season game. Lincoln, of course, the winners of 3 straight PIL championships. Under head coach Wes Warren, Jeremy Johnson hoping to repeat. Here's another handoff going up the middle. It's about 5 yards on the carry.
Osmo, the ball carrier.
Nick
for the
Osmo.
Cardinals. Gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards on the play.
5 more yards.
You
to
know,
his
not
stat
only
line.
not
Second
only
down,
does
Cardinals.
Lincoln need to win for a shot at the PIL title, but they also need a win for a winning season.
That is true. Overall, coming into the game with a 4-4 record, that of course counts non-league games. They are 3-1 in league play. Here's a snap, another handoff, and they break free. That's going to be a first down, and Nick Osmo gets the big gain
Osmo,
there.
The ball carrier for Lincoln, tackled by Tamon Davis for Grant.
Gain of
David-
14 on the play.
That is a first down for the Cardinals.
Davis of the Generals, playing on both sides of the ball, gets in on the tackle. And you can see there, if Osmo can get through that first level of defenders, he's going to get double-digit yards on the carry.
41-yard line.
Great acceleration past the line of scrimmage.
Two receivers stacked to the right now, one of them in motion. And ball carrier coming near side this time. No, breaking free. 40, beats one. He's tripped up there. Still an excellent run there for number 24, Daniel Kovalev. And the defense was fooled a little bit on that play.
First down, Cardinals.
35 yards on the carry for Kovalev that time. He had a 41-yarder before. He's at 2 carries now for 76 yards. I'm sorry, 3 carries for 76 yards. He had a no-gainer earlier.
Usually by this point in the regular season, Dave, these players have played in this kind of weather once or twice. But this is really the first game we've covered for Lincoln where weather has been a factor. Here's a handoff to Elsner going up the middle. He's going to power his way through for a first down. Frank the Tank, as they call him, earning that nickname there.
15 yards on the carry by Elsner, and he probably got that last 10 with 3 or 4 defenders on his back.
So not quite first and goal, but first and 10 from, it looks like, the 12-yard line. Lincoln in the red zone, deep in Grant territory.
Well, I didn't expect we were going to have a game tonight with a running clock.
Well, I don't expect that tonight. But Lincoln looking to add more points on the board. Have a man in motion. They're going to hand it off to him. Getting to the near side edge. Takes a little dive at the end of the play. Could it be enough for a first down? Maybe, as Kovalev,
the ball carrier for Lincoln,
gets a pat on the back after that run.
Gain of 9 on the play.
A yard shy of the first down after the 9-yard gain, and we have a timeout called. Looks like Grant calling the timeout, coached by John Beck. So we knew this was going to be a close ball game, Dave, and I said before the game in the open,
Grant High School.
It's going to come down to which defense steps up big, as we know each team is capable of putting points on the board. So far, Lincoln has forced 2 3-and-outs for the Grand Generals. I shouldn't say 3-and-outs. They got some first downs, but nonetheless 2 punts from the Grand Generals.
You know, Lincoln the last 2 weeks has had over 300 yards rushing both of those weeks. Tonight we're here, we got about 2:27 left to go in the first quarter. Kovalev has 85 and Osmo has 58.
This feels a little bit like a Lincoln Cardinal football game of a year or two ago under Wes Warren. With this rain in play, they've kept it on the ground the whole game.
Second down and 1. Ball after 3.
Second and 1 from the 3. Lincoln will take either a score or a first down. Parkell under center. Here's a snap, handoff, and I think they're going to get the 1.
Frank Elsner.
Little stiff arm and a dive forward. Looks like it might be a little short, however.
No gain on the play. Third down, Lincoln.
They say no gain. So third down, and you have to imagine, Dave, we haven't seen a field goal attempt. Even though I feel like Davies is probably capable, we have yet to see a field goal attempt for the Lincoln Cardinals this season. So should they not be able to convert here, maybe they go for it on fourth down. Vidakovic on the outside. And a pitch to Osmo. He's going to get enough for the first down, and he's going to get enough for a score. He dives forward wearing that 22.
Lincoln, penalty flag on the field.
But we do have a flag on the play. You know my favorite player of all time, Dave, wore number 22.
Let's see. Favorite player of all time?
He was a running back also. It was Emmitt Smith.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite running back of all time wore 32.
Penalties against Lincoln. Chop block is the penalty.
No, it is not O.J. Simpson. It is Jim Brown.
That's a good one as well. Those are two of the greatest. Not O.J. Simpson. Speaking of Emmitt Smith and Jim Brown.
The touchdown is negated. Remains
So
third
the
down,
penalty
Lincoln.
is going to negate not only the touchdown, but turn it into 3rd and long. So that is a very costly penalty for the Lincoln Cardinals. Now do you take a chance and air it out to the end zone?
You know, Parkell had a couple of touchdown passes last week. Let's see.
So far, they've
Third and
kept it on the
13 for
ground.
Lincoln.
It
Ball
is
on the
3rd
16.
and 13. 2 receivers stacked to the near sideline, and we have a whistle before the play.
I'll tell you who's been very effective lately on the pass receiving routes, and that's Vodakovic. Although Wilmot has been very successful himself.
Penalty flag, penalty against Lincoln.
I believe that's a delay of game penalty.
Oh, that's not good.
And you see somebody running from the sideline, wiping off a ball to provide a new ball. So they're going to try to keep swapping those out, keeping them dry as well as they can. Here's the snap. They're going to hand it off, but nowhere to go. Osmo is taken down near the line of scrimmage. And now what do you do if you're Jeremy Johnson on 4th down?
For Grant.
Well, seeing as how there's not been a field goal attempt, I might think that's not going to happen here.
I wouldn't think so, especially given these conditions. The rain continues to fall.
Let's see, that would be if they tried a field goal attempt, it would be about 42 yards.
And now it looks like we have a timeout called. Don't see a signal as to who called the timeout. Have yet to take it off the scoreboard. So 1:08 on the clock, 7-0 in favor of the Lincoln Cardinals. It is 4th down, and they're swapping out some personnel. Osmo heads to the sideline. So what are we going to see here? It looks like we are going to see a field goal.
All right, the ball will be marked down. I'm sorry, the ball
Looks
is
like
actually
27, so a
Spencer
37-yard
Davies
field
on for
goal.
the field goal
Yep.
attempt for Lincoln.
So Davies into kick. Here's the snap. Hold looks good. Kick has the distance. No, it does. It got just
Davies'
over the
field goal
bar.
is good for Lincoln.
Davies
Lincoln 10, Grant
just
0.
enough for the field goal. Didn't get it all, but he got enough. And it's 3 points on the board. We knew Davies could do it.
To Oregon
We just
Sports
haven't
Beat for
seen
joining us tonight's
Jeremy Johnson
broadcast.
take the
As
chance
well as
or give the kid the
Sports.
opportunity.
well, I think it's like you said earlier,
All
Shane.
spectators,
Every point in
PIL
this game is going to be
partnership with
critical.
Positive Coaching Alliance is committed to developing better athletes
Very
and
much
better
so.
people. Honor the game. Remember to always
Nicely
exhibit
done by that young
sportsmanship
man.
and
Gets
respect for
just
the rules of the
enough
game, opponents,
for 3 more
officials,
points,
teammates,
and Lincoln
oneself.
takes the 10-0
Enjoy the game
lead.
and have fun.
And for Lincoln, if they don't get points on that possession, that's a bit of a disaster. After Nick Osmo was able to score, but the points were called back on a penalty.
Davison Harris, the return man for Grant.
And Davies will be right back onto the field to kick off from the 40. Both kicks thus far, he's kicked it into that second level of the return crew for Grant. Let's see what happens here. Back to receive,
Davis to kick it away
Davis
for
and
Lincoln.
Harris. It's Davies. Awaits the whistle. There it is. This one goes a little deeper. It's going to be caught outside the 20. Now cutting to the middle of the field. Staying on his feet across midfield. Spun around there.
Another great field position for the Grant Generals.
So he ends
Harris
up
on the
actually
return for
just
Grant,
shy
first
of
and 10
midfield
Generals.
at the 49. Not by much. Just above the Grant logo here at midfield. The dark gray G. So 1st and 10, and you're absolutely right, Dave. Good field position once again for the Generals. But they're trailing 10-0. Can they put some points on the board with less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter? Quarterback Sam Simrel awaits the snap. He's going to roll right. He has a man caught there at the 40. That's going to be enough for a first down. 11 yards to Davis.
On the reception.
The sophomore.
Tackle
A number of
40-yard
sophomores
line. That's enough for a Generals first down.
on this offense playing big roles here early.
And
We mentioned all the seniors. They have 17 of them, but you can tell this Grant Generals team has the youth to keep their success going. Here's a handoff going up the middle and kicks it out outside now.
that last play, that was a really big defensive hit by
One
Charles
ball
Wilmot.
carrier for Grant.
Wilmot on the completion, but in on the coverage.
Second down, Generals.
Second down after a gain of 4. Quarterback once again rolling right. Looks like he wants to take it himself. Tackled from behind.
Number 22 on the tackle.
That's Osmo.
Third down for Grant. But
And that is the end of the first quarter. Zeros across the board, and Lincoln leads it 10-0. Let's tell you about our friends at Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. Trailblazer Foods, founded in 1984, is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2018. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com. You can hear the rain trickling against the metal stands here.
I think you can tell, too, from our crowd mic, that we're sitting directly behind the Lincoln cheerleaders and the Lincoln fans.
We are out in the elements.
Third down, Grant, to begin the second quarter.
All right, Grant with an opportunity here on third down. Quarterback rolling to his left, and it's complete. That's going to be enough for a first down. A big hit there at the end. No, he stays on his feet. 10-5, pushed out. Does he get in? Wow, what a play by Marcus Harris. Looks like he's just shy of the end zone. But
Marcus
Harris,
on the reception
who took
for
a
Grant,
shot
first down,
there
Generals.
at about the 20-yard line, somehow stayed on his feet.
You know, there are things you can do to stay on your feet. One of them is get your hand down. The other is roll over the top of players who are trying to tackle you. And that time, Harris got his hand down on the ground and stayed on his feet.
So one play into the third quarter, and Grant threatening first and goal. Simrel, the quarterback position with 2 receivers on the far sideline. Now a tight end to the far right. He's going to take it himself. Gets a little push there, but stays on his feet, and he's in for the score. Ragnola coming in defensively, trying to make the stop there, but couldn't wrap him up. And Simrel keeps it himself. The quarterback keeper put 6 points on the board for Grant, and we got ourselves a game. 10-6, still in favor of Lincoln. And we mentioned every point mattering in this game, Dave. Let's see what happens here on the extra point attempt. Into kick is Logan Gilly, and the kick is good.
Gilly on the extra point.
10-7. So the difference in that game, in the game thus far, is Davies' field goal that just barely got over the crossbar. Rain looks like it's coming down a little harder now. You can see the Grant cheerleaders, they've got pants on. Lincoln cheerleaders not as lucky. All right, Dave, so Lincoln will get the ball back with 11:41 remaining here in the first half.
You know, pretty amazing. We're in this game. Two high-powered offenses like Grant and Lincoln, and the difference in this game, a field goal.
This is actually the first time Lincoln will be receiving a kickoff.
To receive the kickoff for Lincoln.
Kovalev and Vidakovic back to receive. Here's the kick. Takes a high bounce. We have a whistle.
Did the ball
Lincoln
go out of bounds?
cheerleaders. I didn't see it go out of bounds before the whistle.
Maybe it was touched early.
That whistle was very early in the play.
Could be offside then. Let's see. Yeah, we're backing it up 5 yards.
It's a 5-yard penalty. And we'll try it again with 11:41 on the clock. A line drive kick on the ground. It's picked up at the 20. It's Vidakovic running laterally, and we have another flag on the play as Vidakovic is spun around.
Vidakovic on the return for Lincoln. Penalty marker on the field.
They have not shied away from throwing those flags here tonight, Dave. So we'll see what this one is.
Lincoln has not had the benefit of good field position tonight.
They certainly have not.
They're going to back this one up.
A legal block to the back on the Lincoln Cardinals. So they've started at the 11, the 10, and now starting inside the 10. Oh, no, right at the 10, looks like.
First down, Lincoln, ball at their own 9-yard line.
All right, so 1st and 10. Lincoln used to this position so far in this ball game. Here's a handoff to Osmo for a short gain along the far sideline.
Run for Lincoln. Short gain of about 1 on the play. Second down, Cardinals.
If you're just joining us, Lincoln Cardinals led 10-0. And a quarterback keeper from Sam Simrel getting the Grant Generals on the board. Lincoln converting their first field goal of the season off the right foot of Spencer Davies. Nick Osmo had a touchdown erased by penalty on that field goal drive. There's a snap once again, trying to go up the middle. It's going to be another short gain
Osmo on the run
for Osmo. And 3rd down upcoming.
3rd down for the Cardinals.
3rd and 6 from the 14.
Last 3 carries for Nick Osmo, 1 yard.
Here's another handoff going up the middle. He's going to break free. That's a first down and plenty more across midfield. 40. He's got one man to beat. Osmo. He spins and gets a few more just shy of the 10-yard line, and Osmo shows his explosiveness.
That is a first down, Cardinals.
And Dave, I'll tell you what, I was thinking, well, if they don't convert here, they're going to have to punt and give Grant great field position yet again. But Osmo says not so fast.
80 yards on the carry for Osmo. He now has 9 carries for 139 yards.
So Lincoln Cardinals threatening to put more points on the board all of a sudden, now in the red zone. The 14, it looks like, maybe 13 actually.
First down, Lincoln from the 13.
And Parkel behind center, Van Doren. Here's a handoff to Osmo. He's going to get a few yards up the middle.
Osmo on the run for Lincoln.
Did you see the size of the hole off of left guard and left tackle that time? Great interior blocking.
Gain of 7 on the play for Osmo. That'll bring up second down for the Cardinals.
Van Doren, the center, the senior, as well as Jackson Jones. Lots of seniors on that line on both sides of the ball. Parkel signaling, making sure Gragnola's in the right spot as he runs to the far side. Now Gragnola in motion. They snap it, handoff to Elsner for a short gain. Third down upcoming.
You know, that may be a short game for Frank the Tank.
Third down.
But that was the same hole that Osmo hit the play beforehand, and there was a big hole there that time.
So they're able to wrap him up. Gragnola heads to the sideline. Elsner remains in the backfield
31, Lincoln.
to combine with Osmo. Far side is number 32, Grant Miller. Here's a snap, trying to go. Nope, they're going to hand it off going to the outside. That's going to be enough for a first down. Doesn't get into the score. We do have a touchdown. Number 24, Daniel Kovalev.
Daniel Kovalev on the run for the Cardinals. Touchdown, Lincoln.
Another touchdown for the Lincoln Cardinals. No flags on the field this time, and it's 16-7 with the extra point upcoming. Trying to make it a 10-point lead yet again
Davies
for
on
the
extra point
Lincoln
attempt for
Cardinals.
Lincoln.
That coming at 7:53 left to go in the half.
Likeb, the holder. Davies in to kick the extra point. It's up and through.
The extra point attempt is good.
17-7.
Lincoln 17, Grant 7.
Let me give you this stat real quick, Shane. I mentioned 10 carries, 146 yards for Osmo. For Kovalev, that's 5 carries and 90 yards. Just between the two of them, 236 rushing.
The Lincoln Cardinals, who have yet to attempt a pass so far in the ballgame, have put 17 points on the board here in the first half with 7:53 remaining. The Grant Generals had only allowed 6 points
Davies
combined
for Lincoln.
in their previous 3 games.
Davis inherits the deep return man for Grant.
Good observation on the pass that time.
So Davies in to kick. First time he's going to be kicking from left to right. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Takes a high bounce at the 25. Picked up there. Little stutter step move trying to get to the sideline before getting knocked out of bounds by Gragnola.
Marcus Harris on the return for Grant.
Harris with
First
a
down,
return of
Generals.
11.
By that observation, Shane, I meant that Lincoln had not tried a pass yet tonight.
And you can't really blame them. You know they have plenty of talent at that running back position. But also, given how slippery that ball must be, it's going to be tough to complete passes tonight. Grant has tried it, and they have had some success. Here's a snap. They're going to keep it on the ground this time, and you see a little slide there. And the conditions, the rain continues to fall. It's not letting up at all. And on that artificial turf
Second down, Generals.
here at Marshall High School, it's going to be slippery. Hard to get your footing out there. So now second down after a loss on the play. Simrel has it, rolling to his left. Thinks about it, now has a man on the sideline. Knocked out of bounds there. Complete to number 1, Davis.
Pass complete to Tamon Davis. Third down, Grant.
3rd down and 8 yards to go.
Third and 8 for Grant. Ball on their own 35-yard line.
Lincoln looking for another stop. They have forced 2 punts so far this evening. Simrel looking. Now he's going to take it himself. He runs into Gragnola. Now a trio of defenders in on the stop. And he is going to be just short of the first down marker, it looks like. No, they're going to signal a first down. I thought he was a little short there, but if you're a Grant fan, you're happy to see that. So Simrel gets just enough. Up to the 44.
First down, Grant. Ball on their own 44.
And now Grant moving quickly. Here's another ball trying to go to the near side, and that's going to be a loss.
Phillips on the carry for Grant.
Phillips gets the carry that time.
Second down,
So
Generals.
Damian Phillips, who we were concerned about health-wise, after he walked off gingerly in the first quarter, is back in the game, so good to see. But he does lose about 4 yards on that carry. 2nd and 14. There's a snap and a flag. Quarterback's going to keep it himself running up the middle.
You know, that flag was thrown.
Osmo and Wilmot in on the tackle.
That flag was thrown in the area that would be offensive holding.
We'll have to wait for the official call. It is, in fact, on the offense.
Penalties against Grant.
Didn't see holding called, but I'm not sure I saw anything called there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was that he gave. Motion.
A little wave, yeah, okay. It must be motion on the
Second down
offense.
for Grant.
So 2nd down and a little bit longer. Simrel has it, looking over the middle, now looking deep right. He airs it out, but it's incomplete into double coverage. Getting his right hand up into the air was number 32 for the defense. That's Grant Miller, as it was intended for Harris.
You know, Simrel was trying to lay that ball in the middle, and Miller just got up in the air and knocked it down.
You can hear the Lincoln Cardinal cheerleaders trying to cheer their team on to a victory. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining here in the first half.
It is against Grant.
So the pacing has been a little different than what we've seen the past couple weeks watching Lincoln football, Dave, but given the score, I think they'll take it. And looking for a defensive stop here. A number of flags in this game for both teams. So 3rd and long. They have to get all the way up to the 44-yard line in Lincoln territory.
And those flags that we've seen tonight are damaging. They cost Lincoln a touchdown.
Here's a snap to Simrel. He rolls right. Now looking to his left. Has a man there, but he can't stay in bounds, and that's just a short gain. That's not going to do it.
Peter Zahari on the reception for Grant.
So
4th down, Generals.
it'll be a punt for the Generals. Their 3rd of the evening. It'll be Luke Heinrich
Wilmot on the
into
return
punt.
for Lincoln.
Wilmot, the
Heinrich
deep
to
man
punt.
for the Lincoln Cardinals. Here's the kick. It's a good one. End over end. It's going to take a bounce. That's about as good as you can hope for if you're going to let that ball go if you're a Lincoln Cardinal fan, as it stays put right at the 30-yard line.
First down, Lincoln.
6:18 left to go here in the first half.
17-7. Lincoln Cardinals leading it over the Grand Generals. Grant came into the game 4-0 in league play. Lincoln has a loss. They are 3-1. That loss coming
First
against
down,
Roosevelt.
10
Of course,
for
Grant
Lincoln.
was
Ball
able to
on
beat
their own
Roosevelt.
30-yard line.
Parkell under center. Receivers split on each side, 2 men in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Elsner. He runs into trouble at the beginning of the play. Looks like he gets a yard with a late second surge.
Frank Elsner on the carry.
Give him
for
2
Lincoln.
yards on the carry, 2nd and 8.
Short gain of 2 on the play. Second down, Cardinals.
Dave, earlier in the season we saw Parkell and Lightgeb splitting time, but it's been all Parkell in this one.
Lightgeb had a bad wrist last week, so he may play tonight.
We will see. He was in to hold the snap just a moment ago. Here's the handoff to Osmo. A number of dark jerseys in there. Short gain for Osmo.
Osmo on the carry for Lincoln.
3rd down. 5:22 on the clock.
3rd down, Cardinals.
See some personnel changes for Lincoln. Going to the sideline with Scotty Martin. Parkell leads the huddle.
3rd and 7 for Lincoln. Ball on their own 33-yard line.
See what head coach Jeremy Johnson draws up here on 3rd and 7. They are going to attempt their first pass, and it's complete across the 40. That's enough for a first down. Frank Elsner with the catch, and he adds about 10 more yards on the end of that play.
For a Cardinals first down.
Elsner on a delayed route that time and just laid back, came off the line of scrimmage. Parkell got him the ball and a first down.
So the first pass attempt for the Lincoln Cardinals of the ballgame comes at an excellent time, and they convert a first down
for Lincoln, ball
just
on
shy of
48-yard line.
midfield at the 48. Parkell squats under center. Van Doren there. Here's a handoff to Osmo. Tries to get around the outside. He's going to do it. There's another first down.
Osmo on the run for Lincoln. First down, Cardinals.
15 yards on the carry for Osmo.
From the far
First
hash,
and 10,
Parkell
Lincoln.
will look
Ball
to
on the
continue to move the
37-yard
ball.
line.
2 receivers wide right. Here's the snap, another handoff to Elsner. He's going to go up the middle for about 4 yards on the play. Second down upcoming.
Also the ball carrier for Lincoln.
So for Lincoln, they have 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. A full set of timeouts. So
Second and
plenty
7
of
for
time
Lincoln. Ball on the 34.
here in the first half. Here's the snap, handoff. Stays on his feet, beats a defender who slips, but nowhere to go, just running laterally. You saw a couple defenders have trouble with their footing on that play.
Kovalev, the ball carrier for Lincoln.
But Kovalev unable to turn it into much of a gain. So 3rd down now.
3rd down, Cardinals.
Third and 6 yards to go. Can Lincoln convert? We've seen them make some big plays on 3rd down so far in this game. And now it looks like we got a timeout called.
Timeout on the field, Lincoln.
Timeout called by Lincoln. That gives us a moment to tell you about our sponsors. Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. Better for your car and for the environment now with 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. Trailblazer Foods, founded in 1984, is one of the western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2018. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com.
Shane, that's Kovalev and Osmo, 18 carries, 254 yards.
Lincoln's offense certainly getting the job done from that running back position here this evening. And can they convert a big third down here?
Following the timeout, it is 3rd and 6 for Lincoln.
Should
Ball
Lincoln
on the 33-yard line.
give the ball back to Grant anytime soon? Grant will have plenty of time to work with to put some points on the board. But Lincoln hoping they don't give them that opportunity. Parkell hands it off, delayed handoff, and that is going to be a first down. Running near sideline is Osmo, and he's taken down just in the nick of time. And it looks like the defender might be shaken up on the play.
First down, Cardinals.
Getting an eye on the defender. I think it was Kanan Branch, but now given his positioning, not positive.
Well, Osmo last week, had 7 carries, 253 yards. Tonight, 13 carries, 192 yards.
So the clock stops with 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. It'll be 1st and goal for the Lincoln Cardinals, but right now, a player is down for the Grant Generals. So we hope that young man is okay, but it looked like he was shaken up right away. So you never like to see injuries in any game of football, but especially when the youth is out there. Right now, 17-7. Lincoln threatening for more.
And Lincoln has points that were taken off the board. They had a touchdown that they got a field goal out of.
And we did just get official word that it is Branch, who I suspected was the defender who was shaken up on the play. Looks like a leg injury of some sort. Foot or ankle. Walking gingerly with the left leg lifted. So just basing it off of what we're seeing, very unlikely that we'll see Branch again in this game. So Lincoln's offense back out on the field now, 1st and goal. There's a man in motion. Here's a handoff to Elsner. And he's going to get in for the score. He didn't have to go far. But we have a flag after the play. That shouldn't negate the touchdown given the timing of the flag. And the Lincoln faithful traveling here to Marshall High School, giving Frank a little chance.
2:58 to time on that, and a 3-yard run for Elsner. 23-7 our score.
So it is a Lincoln penalty, but the touchdown will count. They'll assess the yards on the kickoff. So Davies in to kick. Lincoln taking a commanding lead now, looking to add one more point. And they're going to do it. Davies with
Elser on the
Lykeb
touchdown
in
for
to
Lincoln.
hold.
The extra
They've been
point
money
attempt
all
is good
season.
for the Cardinals. Score is Lincoln 24, Grant 7.
24-7.
I know this is 24-7. It should have been 28-7.
Very impressive performance thus far from the Lincoln Cardinals with 2:58 remaining here in the first half. And a 17-point lead. At one point in this quarter, it was a 3-point lead for the Lincoln Cardinals. Lincoln getting the job done. And the key to me, Dave, has been converting on third down. We've seen Lincoln do it a number of times. They've only gotten to fourth down once, and they kicked a field goal. However, Grant has failed to convert on third down a few times and had to punt the ball.
Exactly. The key for Grant has been penalties. They have killed whatever they've been doing.
So now Davies will kick off from the 25 after the penalty is assessed.
Davies to kick it away for Lincoln.
2:58 on the clock. So Grant, with 2 timeouts remaining, they're going to have plenty of time to move the ball down the field. The line drive kick from Davies picked up outside the 30. Looking for blockers. Gets it across the 45 up to the 47. About a 15-yard return on the play for Davis.
Tackled by Frank Elsener for Lincoln.
So if you're Lincoln's defense, you would love to make a stop here. And what we've seen all season, Dave, Lincoln has played better second half football. This is really one of the best first halves we've seen them put together against a top opponent.
First down, Generals, ball on their own 48.
All right, Generals will have an opportunity once again with excellent starting field position, just shy of midfield, 1st and 10. Here's a late handoff going across. Now that's a big play for the Generals. Finally taken down at the 25-yard line.
Carry for Grant. First down, Generals.
A big run for Jackson Montfort. Another sophomore on this running back core for the Grant Generals.
I'm trying to think, and that may be their biggest play of the night.
They're moving quickly. Another handoff. Trying to get to that far sideline again.
On the carry for Grant.
And they go right back
on the play. Second down.
to Jackson Montfort for a short gain.
Well, they're looking to score before halftime and trying to get some momentum back.
Yeah, they moved quickly and got the ball into Lincoln territory.
Second and 9.
It'll be second down and 9 yards to go. From the 23-yard line. Quarterback awaits the snap. He has it. Takes the pitch. Gets to the inside there and gets stood up. Finally, they blow the whistle as he's knocked down. Wilmot was in on the push at the end of that play.
Sam Simmerl on the carry for Grant.
So Sam Simmerl,
third down.
He has a touchdown, keeping it on the ground himself as the quarterback. Scampers for a couple yards there. It's third down. Simmerl rolling to his left. Line drive pass. Incomplete. There was 2 possible receivers in on that.
Penalty flag on the field.
But there is a flag on the play with just over a minute remaining here in the first half. Lincoln leading at 24-7. 3 touchdowns, I should say, and a field goal. Totaling up to 24 points. And you can see on the sideline for Grant, their kicker, perhaps practicing a field goal attempt. Place kicker is Logan Gilly for the Grant
Penalty
Generals.
for holding on
It is a
Lincoln.
holding
That
penalty
is a
on the
first
Lincoln
down for
Cardinals, and that'll not only move the chains, but move Grant into the red zone. So just outside the 10-yard line now. Simrel awaits the snap. He's going to keep it himself. And wrapped up inside the 10. Doesn't get much.
Several on the run for Grant.
It's like 2
Second
yards
down,
on the
Generals.
carry. And that does allow the clock to continue to run. However, Grant does have 2 timeouts should they choose to use them. And they're probably going to have to unless they can get in here on the next offensive play.
We're down to 37 seconds.
So they do call a timeout, but about 10 seconds ran off the clock before they decided to do that.
Timeout on the field, Grant.
So with 32 seconds remaining here in the first half, they will have 1 timeout to work with. So we'll see what happens here on second down. They do not need to get into the end zone, but given the time constraints, they're going to have to do it quick, even if they do manage to be kept out of the end zone, but convert the first down.
You know, I've been struggling here in the cold night air. I thought I was going to lose my voice when my partner, Steve Roberts, went down and got me the Marshawn Lynch remedy.
Oh, what? Oh, the old Skittles action, huh?
Got me some Skittles, and I'm going to be better.
It is Halloween, so it seems appropriate.
I have to thank our producer, Ryan, for thinking of that.
All right, 32 seconds on the clock.
2nd and 8 for
Grant's
Grant.
going to have an
Ball
opportunity
on the 10.
to run at least 2 more plays with 1 timeout remaining. Simrel awaiting the snap. Has it now, has a man in the end zone, and it's knocked away by the defender in the far corner.
Well,
Simrel's pass incomplete, intended for Marcus Harris. 3rd down.
And it was
Grant.
number 32 of the defense.
Miller, I think.
That's Grant Miller.
When
So
you-
that does stop the clock with 27 seconds remaining. Go ahead, Dave.
When you run the fade route, you have to get to the corner of the end zone.
So Simrel with 27 seconds to work with. See what he draws up here. Airs it out. It's caught there at the 5. Dive at the end of the play. That's a touchdown for the Grant Generals. Number 5 on the reception, Brooks McCauley. His first
Simrel's pass
reception of the ball game.
Zahari. Touchdown, Generals.
And so now, going into halftime, most likely the score will be 24. Well, we'll await the extra point. 24-13 currently. 20 seconds remaining. You have to imagine when Lincoln gets
Really
the ball
on the
back,
extra
they'll
point attempt
probably
for Grant.
just take a knee. Or maybe hand it off to Osmo and see what he can do. They'll only have a few seconds to work with, but they will have a couple timeouts. Here's the kick. It's up
The
and
extra
through.
point is good.
And it is once again a 10-point ball game. Lincoln leading
Lincoln
24 to
Grant
14.
14.
All right, Dave.
Each team with 14 points here in the second quarter. That 10 first quarter points for the Lincoln Cardinal is the difference so far.
It certainly is. And you get the sense, obviously with a 10-point lead, Lincoln would love to keep it that way. But I just have a feeling that first quarter field goal for Spencer Davies is going to be very important when it comes to the final score of this ball game.
You know what they call that? Outcome determinative.
I thought you said you weren't a math major.
Now that's a lawyer term.
Okay. All right, so with 20 seconds on the clock, can Lincoln do something? Line drive kick. Takes a bounce. Finally picked up at the 20. Tripped up. So Lincoln will have a long way to go, but they have 2 timeouts and 17.9 seconds to work with.
Daniel
Make it
Kovalev on the kickoff
16.9.
return for Lincoln. 1st and 10 Cardinals.
I hate to keep stressing the point, but last week, Osmo over 200 yards rushing, Kovalev over 100. We're within a few yards of that again tonight at halftime.
One thing I've noticed with head coach Jeremy Johnson, he never allows his players to take the foot off the pedal.
1st and 10 Lincoln.
We saw that a little bit with
Ball
Wes
on
Warren in
55.
games
Right.
that got a little out of control.
Right.
We have not seen that from Jeremy Johnson. So they're most likely going to be looking to score here with 16 seconds remaining. Quarterback drops back. Little dump-off pass over the middle. So are they going to call a timeout?
For Lincoln.
Nope, looks like they're going to let this clock run
Tackle
out.
made by Jamison Price for Grant.
That will be
That is
the
the
end
of the first half of play.
of the first half.
It is Lincoln.
The Lincoln
24,
Cardinals lead it 24-14 over the Grant
14.
Generals in what many are calling the PIL championship game. Either way, a victory will surely improve the Lincoln Cardinals' rating as far as the OSAA is concerned heading into week 1 of the playoffs.
It was 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. Each team with 14 points in the second quarter makes it 24
The state
14
soccer
at
playoffs
halftime.
begin tomorrow.
Before we step
Our
aside
Generals
for
Girls Soccer
the
team will
halftime
be
festivities,
visiting
let's tell you
Westgate
once again about
to
our
take on the
friends
Wildcats
at
4 p.m.
Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2018. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com. Once again, the score at halftime, the Lincoln Cardinals 24, the Grant Generals 14. Dave and I will be back with all the action in just a few minutes for the second half. All right, we are back getting ready for second half action between the Lincoln Cardinals and the Grant Generals. Current score 24-14 in favor of the Lincoln Cardinals, who came into this game with a loss in league play, and they were going against the Grant Generals, who were undefeated in league play. They came in 4-0, of course. Dave, we expected a close game, and so far it's been up to who is able to convert on third down, and Lincoln has been able to do just that.
And it's been all those penalties on Grant. Isn't it going to be interesting if we wind up the night, Roosevelt, Lincoln, and Grant all at 4-1? Grant's loss will be to Lincoln, Lincoln's loss will be to Roosevelt, and Roosevelt's loss will be to Grant.
Funny how that works. Lincoln will be playing next week. Just a matter of when and where. Will be Friday, of course. I guess where is the important part. Grant likely to play next week as well. Both these teams should be playing football in the first round of the playoffs. First round of 32.
Right, and traditionally the PIL has not gotten a whole lot of respect. And it won't be surprising to see the 3 PIL teams in the power rankings somewhere down around 25 to 32, and that would require them to go on the road, and sometimes that means a long trip.
So Lincoln will be receiving the football to start things out. Looks like the rain has let up a little bit, but it's still falling here. And on that artificial turf here at Marshall High School, we have seen some players slipping and sliding in the first half. We'll see how the elements play here in the second.
Dikadovic back deep, ready to receive.
Here's the kick. They keep it on the ground. It's going to take a bounce picked up by Vidakovic at the 20-yard line. Running near hash. Gets across the 30. And Lincoln, wouldn't you believe it, this is the best field position that they've started with the whole game.
You know, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Might be the best field position of the night for the Generals to start a drive.
For the Cardinals.
I'm sorry, for the Cardinals.
So Lincoln, they've broken off some big plays in this game thanks to players like Nick Osmo.
And 10 for Lincoln, ball on their own 31.
Frank Elsner and Kovalev getting the job done on the ground as well. They've only attempted one pass, but it was a completion. Parkell under center. He's going to hand it off to Frank Elsner. I'm sorry, that's Osmo. He's going to get about 4 yards on the carry.
Cardinals.
By the way, that one pass completion was to Elsner.
So 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard gain for Nick Osmo, securing the ball and just powering his way forward. Surprising, we have not seen any turnovers so far this game, given the elements. Parkell under center. Another handoff running across the far right side now. And that's going to be enough for the first down.
Miles Parkell.
And Parkell keeps it. He fakes the handoff to Osmo. And Parkell able to do it himself.
That will move the chains for a Lincoln first down.
10 yards on the carry for Miles Parkell.
Vidakovic checks out of the game. Parkell has gotten 100% of the snaps so far for the offense at that quarterback position. Receiver on the near sideline is Frank Elsner. So we mentioned he does have a reception so far. Now a man in motion. They hand it off to the lone tailback who's going to break free up the middle. And that's Osmo. Does he have enough for a first down? Looks like he does. If he doesn't, it's very close. Nope, they're going to signal to move the chains. So 10 more yards in the box score for Nick Osmo.
And that takes him up to 206.
So the Cardinals moving the ball here quickly across midfield into Grant territory. Van Doren, the center. Parkel awaits the snap. Now a man in motion. They fake the handoff. Now they're going up the middle yet again. It's going to be about 5 yards on the carry for Frank Elsner.
Second down, Cardinals.
Give him 4 yards. The umbrella is still out in full force here at Marshall High School. Grant Generals, they are the home team, but playing their football here at Marshall High School this season. So second down from the 43. Receiver split on each side. Now one of those men in motion. They're going to hand it off to him. Trying to get to the far sideline. He does turn the corner there. Running far sideline. Stays on his feet. 20, 10, touchdown. What a run by number 24, Daniel Kovalev, who looked like he might be in trouble early on in that play. But he turns on the Jets on the far sideline, stays in its bounds.
Near the goal line.
No, they're going to say he was out of bounds. I'm sorry. Very close as he took a dive there at the end. Thought he got it, but they signaled that he was out of bounds short
on the 1.
by 1 yard.
Let's see if they give it back to Kovalev.
Parkel under center. They do hand it off. It's going to go to Elsner. We're going to wait for the signal. We get it this time.
Frank Elsner.
Frank Elsner from 1 yard out adds 6 more points on the board, and you couldn't ask for a better start here in the second half if you're a Lincoln Cardinal football fan. And we talked about it in the second quarter. Jeremy Johnson put something in the water at halftime. Lincoln Cardinals have been an excellent second half team. As Davies in to kick. Snap, hold, and kick. Everything is good.
The point attempt is good.
30 to 14. Lincoln Cardinals with a commanding lead now, Dave.
14.
I'm sorry, 31 to 14.
You are correct. So the Grant Generals needed a win
That
to
coming,
secure the division championship. Go ahead, Dave.
that coming with 9:22 left to go in the third. And by the way, that Kovalev run takes him to 135 in the game.
Let's take a moment to tell you about our sponsors. Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman.
Shane, doesn't that seem staggering that between Kovalev and Osmo, we're just started the second half. They have 341 yards rushing.
It's quite the total. That duo has combined for several hundred yards. It seems like every game the past few weeks.
Return man for Grant.
Here's the kick from Davies, upcoming, kicking right to left. It's a deep one this time. As you see, the return man back up at the 11-yard line, catches it there. Now on the numbers, he's taken down shy of the 30.
Return for Grant.
Give him 18 yards on the return for Davis.
29-yard line.
All I can say is, finally. Finally.
We know Davis could kick it, right?
Right.
All right, now if you're Grant, still got a lot of time left in this ball game, but
Too much time to call it.
not only are you going to have to come up with some stops defensively, the offense needs to keep putting pressure on the Lincoln defense. Here's the snap. It's a low snap. They hand it off, and nowhere to go. That's a loss on the play.
Phillips on the run for Grant. Loss of 1 on the play.
Click Osmo in on the tackle as well as number 54. See, it is 54 out there, which is Jackson Jones on a roster. We were told he would be wearing 45 tonight. I'm just going to assume that's Jackson Jones. He got in on the tackle as well. Here's another handoff, trying to get outside the numbers, near sideline.
Phillips, the ball carrier for the Generals.
I guess what we know for sure is that Jackson Jones has a 4 and a 5 on his jersey.
You know what? It might be 64. My apologies. That's Kenya Sai, or Say.
3rd and 3.
Seeing it a little more clearly now. Say's a big guy. Here's another snap, and quarterback's going to keep it himself. Now kicks it out, and he's going to get enough for a first down with a late second surge. Simrel getting the job done on the ground. We've seen him do it a few times so far tonight.
That's enough for a Grant first down. First and 10, Grant, ball on the 41.
First and 10 from the 41. Grant moving left to right. Simrel has it. Fakes the handoff, pulls it back in, and he's going to be taken down by number 75 of the defense. That is Carson Hugel.
Simrel on the carry. Hugel on the tackle for Lincoln.
So 2nd and 12 after a loss of 2.
2nd and 12 for Grant, ball on the 39.
Man in motion. Quarterback looking to his left. Now airing it out over the middle. He has a man who stays on his feet. He's got the first down and plenty more. Across the 40. Number of white jerseys trailing him. Can they get him? Finally take it down at the 11-yard line.
Sam Simrel's pass complete to Marcus Harris.
Marcus Harris with the
First
catch
down,
and
Generals.
run.
51 yards for Harris.
So first down, we mentioned the Generals offense had to put pressure on Lincoln to keep this game close, and they've done just that on this possession. So first and 10 from the 11, a pitch for a short gain.
Jamison Price on the carry for Grant. Second down,
Jamison
Generals.
Price gets the carry. Looks like 1 yard on the play. 7:27 on the clock here in the third quarter. Lincoln has put 7 points on the board already on their first possession. Grant looking to match. Simrel awaits the snap. 3 receivers stacked to the near side right. They're going to pitch it. Running near hash. Keeps them out of the end zone.
Price on the carry
up to the
for
5-yard
Generals.
line for Price.
That'll bring up third down for Grant. And 1 yard to go.
Third and just 1. They do not need to get into the end zone here. They're going to hand it off again. But no, does he get enough? Oh, the ball's loose and Lincoln's got it. They're running it back. 40, 50, across midfield. Gragnola picks it up.
There's no whistle and there's no flag.
That is a touchdown for the Lincoln Cardinals. I thought I might see the ball pop out there, and they never called the whistle for the ball carrier being down. And Gragnola picks it up, and I think the offense assumed the play was over, and Gragnola just took off.
95 yards on the fumble return for Gragnola, Kyle Gragnola.
I mentioned, Dave, this game might come down to turnovers. Well, that turnover gives the Lincoln Cardinals a very commanding lead.
Spencer Davies on for the extra point attempt for Lincoln.
Spencer Davies will be in to kick. And what a tough blow for the Grant Generals as they were threatening in the red zone. Kick is up and good.
Well, I'm not so sure about up. It was a line drive.
That's true.
38.
As the distance gets over the crossbar, it's 1
Right.
point on the board.
Exactly.
Davies still perfect in extra points and field goals this game.
Well, let's see. Davies has 8 points in the game now.
I'm telling you, Davies is the PIL fantasy kicker you want, I think.
On 1 field goal for the year.
He's had plenty of opportunities for those extra points. So Lincoln coming into the game had come off a few games in a row with high point totals. They had a 75-19 victory, a 63-19 victory. And on their way to another high score as well tonight. 38 points on the board. It'd be tough for them to allow 19 points again, huh, Dave?
Well, let's see how can we get there. We get there a safety and a
Safety
field
and
goal.
a field goal. I don't know if that's going to happen. All right, we got a flag before the kick.
Penalty flag on the field.
Maybe delay a game here?
Yeah, that wasn't a whistle to stop the clock. That was a penalty. There's a flag.
We don't have the benefit of a play clock.
Is that a sideline violation?
There's some jabbering going on along the sideline. And it looks like they're going to move the kick forward. So you think your assessment is correct there, Dave. The head coach for Grant Generals, John Beck, having a word with the side judge.
I saw him point to one player, and that player is out yelling at the official right now. I think the player was up on the field.
Penalty was against Grant.
So it's a 15-yard penalty, and now, if you're Davies, we saw that he could kick it deep on the previous kickoff, but don't want to kick it too deep here, given the starting spot.
Right. Oh, that must be a personal foul. It's 15 yards.
Here's the kick. And they're just going to let this take a bounce in the end zone. So the Grant Generals will take over on their own 20-yard line with 6:22 on the clock here in the third quarter. Trailing big, 38-14.
Well, if there was a previous warning, that could be a 15-yard personal foul too. So whatever it was had to do with the sideline violation.
So now, for the Grant offense, we've seen them move the ball consistently, but that turnover proving to be very, very costly. .6:22 on the clock. Simrall, hands off. Pushed out of bounds after a short gain.
Marcus Harris on the carry for Grant. Penalty marker on the field.
We have another flag on the play. This has been the theme of this ball game.
Oh, and there's another flag.
Penalties everywhere. The flags are flying.
That last flag has to be a personal foul on Grant. Somebody yelled something at the referee.
Referees have not been shy with the flags this evening. As they confer.
Let's see the signal. There might be 2 penalties on Grant, but one of them was a personal foul at the end. Let's see. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Grant.
Lincoln fans giving that a little cheer.
Penalty against Grant.
Meanwhile, in the World Series, they're going to extra innings.
Really?
Tied at 1 in the 10th inning.
Well,
out in L.A.
LA fans have to be happy about that.
So another costly penalty for the Grant Generals.
Now it's first and 25.
We mentioned that Grant needed a safety and a field goal to get to the 19 points that Lincoln has allowed in back-to-back games. Well, maybe Lincoln has an opportunity to get a safety,
for Grant.
given the field position. So 1st and 25. Grant now inside their 5-yard line. Simrall will be catching the snap in the wrong end zone. Signals for a man in motion. Awaits the snap. Has it. He's going to air it out over the middle. He has a man. It's caught there across the 20-yard line.
Sam Simrell's pass
So
complete
a
to
big
Teron Davis.
completion there to Davis, but they're still short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, they got 16. They needed 25.
So still
It is 3rd and 7.
7 yards to go.
The 24 for Grant.
Simrell rolling to his right. Pump fakes. He's going to take it himself. He's under pressure, but it stays on his feet again. Now running outside the numbers. That's enough for first down. So Simrell looked to be in trouble, but very elusive there.
First down, Generals.
Great second effort by Simrell to get the first down.
So the rain had very briefly stopped, and now it's starting to come down again.
First and 10, Grant, both from their own 38.
3 receivers stacked to the far side. They fake the handoff. Quarterback under pressure, but evades the tackle. Gets it up near the line of scrimmage.
Sam Simrell, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Schwartz for Lincoln.
Zach Schwartz in on the tackle for the defense. So second down.
Generals.
4:53 on the clock. Still a long way to go, but trailing by 24. Here's a pass to the far sideline, caught there. And I'll tell you what, Dave, the Grand Generals are good at continuing plays after it seems like the defenders are on them.
We talked about that last week, that the Cardinals sometimes are not following through on their tackles.
So 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Simrell with 1 running back in the backfield. Has the ball. He's going to keep it himself again. And he's still on his feet, but still in the backfield. Finally spun around. And he is short.
Lots of yards on the play.
A tackle
4th
doesn't
down.
just consist of tying the runner up. It's taking the runner to the ground, too.
So Simrell manages to bounce around there, but has no yardage to speak of. And it'll be 4th down.
4th and 3 for Grant. Ball on the 46.
They're going for it.
Here, 4th and 3. It looks like 4th and 2 to me. They are definitely going for it. Simrell drops back, looks over the middle, airs it out deep, and it's overthrown and incomplete. That'll be a turnover on downs.
Generals. Lincoln ball.
You called it,
10.
Shane. It was deep. He threw it real deep.
A little too much as the defense celebrates another big stop for the Lincoln defense. And looking forward maybe just a tad, Dave, going into the playoffs, Lincoln's going to be on a high note.
Well, let's see what I say. They had 138 points in the last 2 games. Let's take that up to 176 now in 3 games.
I get the feeling if Lincoln had the opportunity to play Roosevelt, who they lost by a single score earlier in the season,
Cardinals.
If we could replay that matchup,
From Grant's
I'd like
46-yard
Lincoln's
line.
chances.
I'd like Lincoln's chances now against Southridge.
We'll see who they line up with in the first round of the playoffs. But, of course, they have a long way to go. They want to finish this one off as we have a whistle before the snap.
That might have been too long. Let's see if that's delay of the game. It is.
Delay the game on the Lincoln Cardinals.
Will remain first down.
Yeah, that Southridge game, the second game of the year that the Cardinal lost, I still think they could have beat that team.
Even Clackamas, if you remember that game, that was
Yep.
a fun second half. They made it interesting at least.
Yep. They've come together,
First
but
and
it's been
15 for
late.
Lincoln. Ball on the 49.
One thing we have seen the past few games is consistency out of that quarterback position.
Yes.
I know Parkell hasn't been asked to throw many times tonight, but nonetheless, he's getting the job done. As here's another handoff, and breaking free across the 40, has a couple defenders to beat. Tackled from behind, just shy of the 20-yard line, is number 24. That's Daniel Kovalev. Another big run for Kovalev.
Lincoln. First down, Cardinals.
171 now for Kovalev. Kovalev kind of working his way towards 200 yards.
So right at the 20-yard line on the near hash. Parkell with two receivers. Far side, one on the near sideline. Here's the snap. He's looking to his right. He has a man there, and it's caught. 4 or 5 yards on the play. You could see the defender trying to jump out in front of the play. But it is complete, so Parkell, perfect 2 for 2.
On the reception for Lincoln.
And it's Miller with the nice grab. Just a little stop route there.
2nd and 5 for Lincoln from the 15.
So after the 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. 2 receivers now near side. They're going to hand it off, keep it on the ground for Elsner. He's tackled outside the 5, up to the 6. That's enough for the first down, and it'll be 1st and goal. So with 2:09 remaining, both teams with a full slate of timeouts here in the second half.
First down.
Lincoln already leading 38-14, looking to add some more on the board. The Lincoln defense has played quite well here in this third quarter.
1st and goal from the 6.
Including a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Bragnola running it back 95 yards. See what they can do on offense here. Parkell has it. Handoff. Runs into trouble, does Nick Osmo. Finally, the whistle is blown. He keeps chugging along, but
Osmo on the carry.
That's not going to count.
2nd down, Cardinals.
And we have a player down yet again for the Grant Generals. Lincoln has stayed healthy so far throughout the game, but we have seen a couple Generals players shaken up. Fortunately for that young man, looks to be getting up on his own power, at least temporarily. Now walking off on his own power, albeit gingerly. It's number 32, Josiah McCormick, playing at the linebacker position for the defense. Little shaken up, but looks like he's going to be okay.
2nd and goal for Lincoln from the 5.
So 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line from the far hash. Parkell swats under center. Has the snap. Looks left. And it's nearly intercepted. Knocked away. So
Interesting call.
Parkell, his first
incomplete.
incompletion, intended for Vidakovic.
Under coverage for Grant. 3rd and goal from the 5 for Lincoln.
Nice play by the defense. That was Luke McCullough. Parkell has it. They hand it off. Scampering through on the far side. That's enough for a touchdown from 5 yards out. Number 24,
Touchdown, Cardinals.
Daniel Kovalev. In yet again. And all of a sudden, Lincoln running away with this one in the second half, now leading by 30 points, 44-14.
And that score coming with 1:32 left in the quarter.
Davies remains perfect in the kicking game. So with 1:32 on the clock here in the third quarter, Lincoln leading it 45-14.
Lincoln 45, Grant 14.
Let's tell you about our friends at Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now with 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman.
Shane, this is a 21-0 quarter for the Cardinal right now.
Cardinal running away with it. A unique spot for this football stadium. In the distance, you might see a building there. That's a movie theater. My most recent movie was seen there.
Right behind us is the Sport Plaza.
For Lincoln. Davis and Harris back deep, ready to return for Grant.
Davis and Harris back to receive for the Generals. Davies in for the kick. End over end, near sideline, caught at the 25-yard line. Breaks free across the 40. Up to the 45. So a 20-yard return. And Grant, they're going to have to string together
On the return for
quite a
Grant,
bit here with the remaining
McCullough.
just over 13
First and
minutes
10
in the ball
Generals.
game.
Well, it's at least a 3-touchdown game.
First and 10, Grant, ball on their own 45.
All right, Grant Generals, Sam Simrel, he's going to hand it off on the delay for a couple yards up the middle. Give him 2 on the play. Carry goes
Damian
to
Phillips on the run
number
for
7,
Grant.
Damian Phillips.
Short gain of 2 on the play. That'll bring up second down.
Second down and 8. Sam Simrel, the quarterback. Awaits the snap with 3 receivers stacked to the far sideline. They fake the handoff. He's going to keep it himself. Another short gain on the ground for
On
Simrel.
the carry for Grant. Short gain of about 1. Third down.
Third down, 3rd and 7. Trip receivers on the far sideline, one on the near side. Quarterback rolls to his left. He's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked. It's 4th down.
Generals are going to
Several
punt.
sacked on the play.
Number 45 for the defense. That is Jackson Jones.
All right.
Jones on the quarterback sack for Lincoln. 4th down, Grant.
And that's the end of the third
That is
quarter.
the
They
end
let
of
the
the
time
third quarter of
expire,
play.
awaiting a punt.
Lincoln 45, Grant 14.
So they'll switch sides of the field. With the 4th quarter
in just a
upcoming,
moment.
Lincoln leading 45-14. Dave, that second half magic, I'm telling you, it's something special for the Lincoln Cardinal.
I think you got a point. You know, teams that were probably saying after Grant, after Lincoln was 2 and 4. What's wrong with the Cardinal? Well, now I don't think there's a team that thinks there's something wrong. I think everybody doesn't want to play Lincoln in the playoffs.
I think you're absolutely right. And should weather like this, as it's starting to really
Grant
fall
to begin the
now,
4th quarter of play.
should we see this again next
4th
week,
down
the
to
Lincoln
45.
Cardinals have shown they can play
Exactly.
in rainy weather.
Exactly.
All right, here's the punt for the Generals. It's a good one.
Great punt.
It's going to take a bounce. Finally stopped at about the 8-yard line, maybe the 7.
Heinrich's punt down
47 yards
at
on the
about the
punt.
7-yard
This is all
line.
too
First
familiar
and
for the
10,
Lincoln Cardinals.
Lincoln.
They've started
Yeah.
at the 10 or just inside the 10 a number of times, yet they haven't had trouble moving the ball.
47 yards on the punt.
So,
You know what? In the beginning of the game, I jokingly referred to a running clock. We're not far from there. We're up 31 right now.
Got a little ways to go with 11:46 remaining in the ball game. Parkell remains in the game. Here's a handoff. No, is it like Gab out there? Now they didn't call the player down. Gets a couple extra yards at the end of the play.
On the carry for Lincoln.
It was Osmo. I think it's Parkell still out of quarterback, but yes, it is. So Parkell getting 100% of the snaps. That continues here in the fourth quarter.
Osmo's running up for a first down for the Cardinals at the 18-yard line.
So that little extra surge, enough for the first down for Osmo. First and 10, shy of the 20-yard line. Another handoff to Kovalev. He spins, stays on his feet for a short yard gain.
Daniel Kovalev on the carry for Lincoln.
Kovalev with 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Short gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 for Lincoln.
So the Lincoln Cardinals making a statement. Heading into the round of 32. The OSAA 6A Championship. This is my 4th year covering Lincoln Cardinal football. They have yet to miss the playoffs, and in fact, they won the PIL 3 years in a row. And looking to repeat here. Here's a snap. And another run of, looks like 9 yards. Should be enough for the carry for Kovalev. They are going to move the chains.
First down, Lincoln.
So they can just continue to run the ball, milk the clock, and not give Grant any thought of coming back into the ball game.
Shame for Lincoln. That's 404 yards rushing for Kovalev and Osmo.
You would take 404 yards overall for the offense. I guess most of the offense has been on the ground for Lincoln, but an excellent offensive showing. Here's a snap. Here's another handoff. Running near hash. Breaks free across the 40. Now 50. Secures the ball. And it's Frank Elsner. And that was great to see towards the end of that play, Dave, when he had a defender on his back, just secure the ball.
Exactly. By the way, that was on that yardage, that was 217 for Osmo and 187 for Kovalev.
So another big run for Elsner. So that trio has really been tremendous. Not only this game, but the past couple weeks.
They've got to have 450 yards between the three of them tonight.
First and 10, Lincoln from the 40-yard line.
All the way up to the 40, now in Grant territory. Moving left to right, haven't had any trouble moving the ball. Rain really coming down now. They fake the handoff, they air it out to Vidakovic, and he gets tangled up with the defender. It hits him in the chest.
Parkell's pass is incomplete.
And his arms were just a little bit tangled up, couldn't haul it in.
Vidakovic.
Right, I didn't see Vidakovic complaining about there being no call.
And for Parkell,
under coverage,
certainly no blame from the quarterback. He put it right where he wanted. So that stops the clock with 9:21. Two receivers to the far side now, one in motion. They hand it off to the man in motion. That's Kovalev, and we have a flag on the play as he's knocked out of bounds.
Kovalev,
and that was an early flag in the play.
It was.
Maybe an offside or an encroachment. I haven't seen a signal yet.
Penalty is against Lincoln.
It is on the Cardinals.
Backs it up 5 yards.
45-14. spotted at the 45.
Second down for Lincoln.
Lincoln 2nd and 15 yards now. 11 motion. They hand it off to him. He gets around the outside. Knocked out of bounds.
Kovalev, the ball carrier for the Cardinals.
It'll be 3rd down.
I'll bring a 3rd down for Lincoln.
This is part of the field where even if Lincoln doesn't convert here, we might see him go for it. Third and 9.
3rd and 9, Lincoln.
From the 39.
39-yard line.
Kovalev got 6.
Parkel awaits the snap under center. Kovalev in motion. Here's a handoff going up the middle. Elsner breaks free. That's enough for a 1st down. Plenty more inside the 20, 10, 5, into the corner of the end zone.
Frank Elsner. Lincoln, touchdown Cardinals.
39 yards.
The theme of the game has been power, running, and big plays on the ground for the Lincoln Cardinals.
39-yard run by Frank the Tank.
Frank Elsner with blocks out in front on the near side. And 6 more points on the board. You mentioned the running clock, Dave. You never know.
We're getting within 1 score of that.
Extra point. Low line drive, but it's enough.
Davis' extra point attempt is good.
All right, let's take this moment to tell you once again about our sponsor, Trailblazer Foods. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2018. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com. So 8:45 remaining on the clock. 52-14 now.
Spencer Davies to kick it away for Lincoln.
Davies to kick, and Lincoln has really run away with this one in the second half, Dave. Another big run from Elsner, and we can't sing their praises enough. Elsner and Osmo, and not to mention...
Well, remember the lead was 10 at halftime. It's now 38.
And here's a deep kick, end over end. It's going to take a bounce inside the 10. Juggled there. They do turn it out. Turn it up, and inside the 20 now, spun around, still staying on his feet near sideline. An excellent return there for the Grant Generals.
Here is Pendergrass on the kickoff return.
Here's
for
Pendergrass. So with 8:33 on the clock, Grant, of course, hoping to get a score or two on the board in the few minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
First and 10, Grant from their own 37-yard line.
Sam Simrel. And at quarterback is a high snap. No, they fake it, and it's a direct snap to the tailback, who's going to take it himself. And it was almost like he jumped out in front of the quarterback. That was a strange play because it looked like the quarterback was trying to grab it himself.
A wildcat formation.
First down, Grant.
Maybe some miscommunication there. It worked out well for the Generals as they do get a first down out of the play, but Jamison Price jumping out in front of the snap to grab it and take it himself. Here's a proper handoff. He gets stood up there, just shy of midfield.
Price on the carry for Grant. Second down, Generals.
Second down after a 2-yard carry from Price. Up to the 49-yard line. Quarterback drops back. Has a man at the 50. Tackled by a duo of defenders.
Pass is complete to Peter Sahari.
Sahari with the
Third
reception. Philippi in on the tackle. You see number 14 now is in at quarterback. My apologies. It's Logan Going, a new quarterback on the field for Grant. Just a sophomore. Making the completion. They get it across midfield up to the 49 now on third down. Still a ways to go. Looking to the sideline for the play. Man in rope motion now running to the near side. Low snap, it's loose. Quarterback picks it up and he's going to air it out. And it's caught at the 25-yard line. We have a flag on the play. So Going.
That's going to be pass interference on
Luke
someone.
McCullough, the receiver on the play. And give Going a lot of credit on the play. As the ball was loose, a lot of young quarterbacks will just pick that ball up and try to mitigate the damage, not take any chances. But he airs it out. He's making the most of his opportunity here in the fourth quarter.
Pass interference.
And that was Shane with the legal term, mitigate.
First down, Grant.
So the penalty is declined. It was pass interference, but the ball was caught anyway. So a nice play from the Generals. Here's a snap, and the ball's loose again. It's on the ground. It's picked up this time. But
Jackson
still
on the carry for Grant.
Tackled for a loss.
Now that was the quarterback mitigating.
Loss of about 3. Second down,
It was
Grant.
Jackson Montfort, the running back, who ultimately picked it up and then goes down. And I'm sure you can hear in our microphones that the rain has kicked it up a notch here. Luckily, we're undercover. We are in the stands, but took proper precautions. Here's another handoff trying to get to the far side edge. Now breaking free across the middle. Up to the 16-yard line. We see a Lincoln player fall down well after the play, and he's pointing, hoping for a flag. He's not going to get it.
Third down, Generals.
So third down, third and about 3 yards to go. See what Grant and their young quarterback draws up here. Logan Going has the snap. He's going to take it himself. That's enough. He's still on his feet inside the 5.
Logan Going on the carry for the Generals.
So it'll be first and goal for the Grant Generals.
That's enough for a Grant first down.
In case you're wondering, that World Series game, top of the 11th, still tied.
Maybe we'll catch it when we get home tonight.
Yeah, you never know. And the ball's loose yet again. Now you got to secure it. And he does. But a loss of about 2 yards on the play. So you can see the increased precipitation really playing the factor here in the fourth quarter.
3 of the last 5 plays, he's dropped the ball.
Clock continues to run. Now just under 5 minutes remaining. Going, awaits the snap. It's a high snap. He's going to keep it himself. Gets to the 5. And on the tackle was Charles Wilmot, We haven't seen Wilmot on the
Third down.
offensive side of the field tonight, Dave. He's excelled on both sides of the field, but keeping it on defense so far tonight.
Right, haven't seen him on kickoff returns or punt returns. Field goal kicker for Grant is warming up.
So it is third down with Going, the new quarterback, on the move. Here's a handoff, far side. That's a touchdown.
Luke McCullough on the run for Grant.
McCullough
Touchdown,
with the
Generals.
run. He didn't have a long way to go. And he put 6 points on the board for the Generals to make it a tad closer.
A 3-yard run, and that coming with 4:09.
52-20 now.
Gilly on for the extra point attempt.
Logan Geely in to kick. And you can tell he's got a leg on him.
Gilly's extra point attempt is good.
However, this one ends up, as far as the final score is concerned,
For
you have to be really impressed
Lincoln 52,
with the Lincoln Cardinals
Grant
tonight,
21.
coming into a home game for the Grant Generals here on senior night. They were previously undefeated in the division, and Lincoln putting 52 points on the board. They still have 4 minutes remaining to add some more. One thing Lincoln has not had trouble with tonight compared to the Grant Generals is ball security. I've been really impressed with them securing the ball considering the conditions this evening.
Does Lincoln even have a fumble tonight? I don't believe so. Either one that they've lost or one that they've got back.
I
I
don't
don't
believe
think so.
Here's a kick from Grant. Keeps it on the ground near hash. Picked up just shy of the 20. Runs into a defender after a short run. Up to the 25-yard line.
On the return for Lincoln, number 25, Charles Wilmot.
And there's Wilmot in on the return game. I have seen him
First
out
and 10
there, but
Cardinals.
haven't seen him out there on the offensive side of the ball. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Shouldn't really matter, but both teams have a full slate of timeouts remaining with 4:04 on the clock. We have seen head coach Jeremy
First and
Johnson
10
of the
Lincoln
Cardinals
from the
not
25
shy away
yard
from using timeouts, even in games where the Cardinals have a significant lead late in the game. Man in motion, handed off to him for a short gain. That's number 14, Joe Burns.
Joe Burns on the carry for Lincoln.
And Burns did see a lot of action last week at running back late in the game.
In at
So,
quarterback for Lincoln, number 2, Jake.
We do see Jake Likeb take over at quarterback. So this is his first
Second down and 7.
possession
From the 28
of the
yard
ball
line
game.
for
Early
Lincoln.
on in the season, we saw Parkell and Likeb take turns. But Parkell has gotten the majority of the work lately, but Likeb now getting in on the action. Here's another handoff, this time to Elsner.
I think that was Jeremy
Frank
Johnson's
Elsener on the carry.
plan in the beginning of the year. See
Third
what he
down,
had,
Lincoln.
and after he's had a few games, he saw he had Parkell.
Likeb's got a year remaining.
Right. I can throw the ball 50 yards in the air.
Parkell is the senior. So 3rd and 4 from the 31.
For Lincoln from the 31.
Kovalev and Osmo, both are seniors.
Yeah, they're going to need to retool at that running back position. But Likeb looks to be the future at QB. And the ball's loose this time. Does Lincoln recover? Looked like they did. But it will be 4th down. So likely a punt upcoming for Lincoln with 2:22 remaining on the clock here in the ball game. So this is the first punt for Lincoln.
First punt of the game.
They've had no trouble converting on 3rd downs, even some 3rd and longs. They broke off some big plays.
Gragnola to punt.
Gragnola will be in to punt. If you remember, he returned that fumble for a touchdown to start the third quarter.
95 yards, too.
One player back to receive. They're going to let the clock run down as much as they can, it looks like. And they either called a timeout or there's a delay of game. There's a timeout called by the Lincoln Cardinals. So they call a timeout just before what would have been a delay of game with 1:28 remaining on the clock. And this is what I'm talking about, Dave. Jeremy Johnson doesn't shy away from calling a timeout despite the time and score on the scoreboard.
Timeout on the field, Lincoln High School.
Well, he had another second before it was going to be a delay of game.
So whether it was planned or not, they do milk some time off the clock. And now the punt unit back out on the field. So it'll be a rainy evening as the Lincoln Cardinal football piles into their bus for the ride home, as we have a block as the ball bounces out of bounds. But as I was saying, despite the block punt there, Lincoln's going to be in good spirits heading home and maybe looking forward a little bit, wondering who their playoff opponent for the first round is going to be.
Well, I don't know if they'll know that later tonight, but certainly by in the morning they'll know who that is.
So the Grand Generals will run at least two more plays with 1:23 remaining on the clock. Why not try to get in the end zone? They have excellent field position after the block punt. There's a snap, quarterback keeps it.
Going on the carry.
Lots of whistles after the play. 1:11 left to go here in this game. 52-21.
And it looks like we got another penalty on the field. They're going to back it up. So much like Jeremy Johnson not letting the time and score affect his timeout calling, the referees aren't going to change their consistency and habits with a late penalty here. Not saying they shouldn't. You should always call a penalty regardless, if, of course, the infraction takes place.
Penalty on the field against Grant.
Tell that to the NFL referee who got fired this week.
It is not an easy job, regardless of what level you're at.
Second down for Grant.
All right, second down, second and long. Just over a minute remaining in the ball game. Lincoln's going to go into the playoffs on a high note. High snap, quarterback drops back. Into double coverage, it hits the defender in the back, and we have more flags flying everywhere.
Pass is incomplete in the end zone. There is a penalty flag on the field.
The referee on the side threw his flag almost as far as that pass went.
So that's going to be pass interference, most likely. As you can see, the Lincoln defense backing up to the area, the spot of the foul.
Penalty against Lincoln for pass interference.
So they took over with, what, a minute 11, and I was thinking, okay, they have enough time to get in the end zone. Well, they're going to move it closer now.
Yeah, 7 seconds went off the clock.
Barely any time has gone off in 2 plays. So second down.
Second and 7 for Grant.
Air it into the end zone. That's caught, but out of bounds.
Goings pass is incomplete, intended for Adam Clavon. Third down, Grant.
Clavon, the intended receiver, he couldn't have really done anything differently. Just slightly overthrown for the incompletion. Now under a minute remaining. 3rd and 7. Here's the snap. Quarterback looking right. Now over the middle. Has a man. It's caught there. Stays on his feet. We have more flags on the field. Lots of whistles.
That might be a face mask.
Goings pass is complete to Peter Zahari.
A little bit of extracurriculars after the play as well. So things heating up here with 48 seconds remaining.
Still haven't seen a signal from the referee. Here it comes. Face
It
mask.
is a face mask.
Penalty flag on the field. Personal foul face
Did
mask.
see the ball
on
carrier
Lincoln.
or the receiver gets spun around there.
And that will bring up
So-
a first down and goal.
When Grant took over,
Grant.
I was thinking, okay, they're going to run 2, maybe 3 plays.
2-yard line.
Hardly any time has come off. They've run about 5.
And still have 40 seconds.
Quarterback keeper, and he's in for the score
Logan going
with
on the carry.
39
Grant,
seconds
touchdown to the
remaining.
Rolls.
Going. In for 6 more points on the board. And makes the score a little closer. So just shy of 40 seconds remaining. What will likely be our final score? Well, it'll be determined based on this kick here. A little bit of trouble with the snap, and it is no
The
good.
extra point attempt is no good.
So what will likely be the final score?
52
52 to 27.
Grant,
The Lincoln Cardinals, still a very impressive performance for the Cardinals, who have scored over 50 points in 3 straight weeks. So they will be going into the playoffs on a 3-game winning streak. And we'll just have to wait and see how the seeding plays out. But we will have the action for you here on Oregon Sports Beat. So be sure to tune in next Friday.
Go to our website, OregonSportsBeat.com. We'll have a listing for you of all of our football and soccer playoff action.
Meanwhile, for the Grant Generals, they will very likely be in the round of 32 as well, despite the loss tonight. Line drive kick takes a bounce at the 30, now inside the 20, picked up just shy of the 10. They're going to walk out of bounds, and Lincoln's going to have to run a play here.
Charles Wilmot.
So Dave, heading into the playoffs,
First and 10 Cardinals.
I don't think there's much to take away from this game in particular on things they can improve on. Perhaps a little bit better management with the penalties.
Well, they
But
played
both teams struggled with that tonight.
They played in the rain. That'll give them some experience playing in the rain. By the way, that was a very smart move by Wilmot down there. Pick the ball up and just step out of bounds.
First and 10 Lincoln from their own 8.
So Lincoln can go into the victory formation here. Just take a knee. And the Lincoln Cardinals moving on to the playoffs on a high note. And referees confer. They're going to let them run this clock out. So, Dave, the final score from Marshall High School. Lincoln Cardinals 52, the Grant Generals 27. And what an impressive showing this week from the Lincoln Cardinals. Perhaps facing their toughest opponent in the PIL. I know they did lose to Roosevelt, but
And
coming
that
into
is
this game,
tonight's
Grant
ball
was
game.
dominant
The final score in this
in their
one,
division, and Lincoln coming out on
52,
top.
Grant.
It was
27.
10-0 at the end of one. Each team with 14 in the second quarter
The first round
made
of
it
the
24-14
state
at
playoffs of
halftime.
football are next Friday,
Yeah, big third quarter for
November 2nd.
Lincoln,
Home
21
and
points.
location are to be
They led
determined.
45-14
The
at the end
state
of
soccer playoffs
three,
begin tomorrow.
and then
Our girl
Generals actually
General soccer
outscore
team will be
the
at
Cardinal in the
Westview at
third
4
quarter,
p.m.
13-7. Our
And
final
our
score,
boys soccer
52
of our
to
Grant Generals
13.
will host West Salem
217
right
yards
here tomorrow
rushing for Nick
at
Osmo,
5 p.m.
193
The playoff
yards
prediction
rushing
is the OSAA
for Daniel
website,
Kovalev,
OSAA.org.
410 for the two of them on 34 carries.
Well, if you're the Lincoln Cardinals, you just want to keep this rolling. Turn the page. You can see them celebrating on the field. Looks like they're celebrating a championship, huh, Dave?
Season play for the Grant Generals. Thank you all for coming out.
Like I
and
said,
supporting your Generals.
I'm
all
sure
season long.
Roosevelt has something to say about that.
Thank you for attending tonight's event. I remind you, to
They
please
are
drive
pumped
home
up
safely.
once
Take
again.
care, and
The
good
Lincoln
night.
Cardinals celebrating out on the field. They're not bothered by the rain. Not one bit. Well, that's going to do it for our game broadcast here this evening. Another excellent regular season of Lincoln Cardinal football, but they are not done. We will be back a week from today to cover the first round of the playoffs. Where we're going to be, not sure yet. Unlikely to be at Lincoln High School,
Right.
given the way things are going to shake out. They will likely be on the road, and it just remains to be seen who their opponent will be, as we will find out by tomorrow morning.
I'm usually able to tell you where Oregon Sports Beat will be the next week. We have soccer playoff action next week, football playoff action next week. We don't know that until tomorrow, but I will tell you Newport won in 4A soccer tonight, and so we'll be doing, I'm pretty sure, their playoff game either next Monday or Tuesday night. Go to OregonSportsBeat.com, and we'll have a listing up probably sometime over the weekend of where we'll be next week. Football playoff action and soccer playoff action.
For Dave Hall, Steve Roberts, and Ryan Johnson behind the scenes here at Oregon Sports Beat, we want to thank you for watching. I'm Shane Downey saying so long. Once again, the final score, the Lincoln Cardinals 52, Grant Generals 27.